Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is the fantasy live stream for Week 9 in the NFL. It's the waiver wire time. It's also trade deadline day. What a time to be live here on the YouTube. Welcome, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. Hope everyone ate their faces off with candy last night in Halloween. Saw a lot of the fun pictures on the social medias. Everybody out there getting dressed up, having a good time, having a little bit of joy. It's okay to have a little joy and have a little fun. It's okay. Just want to tell everybody it's okay to do that. And we're going to kick things off here today with a big deal that just went down. TJ Hockenson on the move in division, if you can believe it. So he's going from the Detroit Lions, and he is now going to the Minnesota Vikings, which is odd. Let's just call it odd because that's definitely a strange move here. This has certainly implications short term for Irv Smith Jr. is dealing with that high ankle sprain. So clearly that's something's going to keep him on the shelf for many, many weeks. If you have Irv, you could probably drop him if he's clogging up a roster spot because now he's got somebody else well ahead of him. It looks like in terms of the deal too, Debro, I'm trying to get what the picks were. Do you have that up here? Because I don't have that.
It looks like, so the Vikings get Hockenson and 2 4th-round picks. The Lions get a 2nd and a 3rd.
All right, there you have it. So let's break this down. From the Viking standpoint, they get another weapon here. Adam Thielen got banged up in that game the other day too, so I don't know how much we want to take stock into that. It's more surprising this happens in division, but from a fantasy perspective, Hockenson is going to another good offense because let's be honest, the Lions offense has not been putrid. When they have all their weapons, they are certainly out there. But what does this mean for Hockenson's value here, in your opinion?
I mean, to be honest, I think it's a good thing for Hockenson. I think that he gets an upgrade in quarterback play, and I think you're really looking at who's he fighting with. Like Adam Thielen's efficiency metrics have looked pretty bad this year. So outside of living off of touchdowns, this is Hockenson's going to be I think he could be the clear number 2 or at least rise to that level down the stretch to be the number 2 behind Justin Jefferson. And maybe when Irv Smith comes back, we see a little more 12 personnel, things like that. So I also couple with this, if you had any kind of love or remaining hope for KJ Osborne, bye-bye, that's gone. So
yeah, that's kind of stinks there. You're right.
Well, it also kind of filters down too. Like maybe we don't see Dalvin Cook's short area target share takes a hit. He saw more targets with Irv Smith out last week. That's probably a worry as well.
I will say this too. I mean, this is a clear indicator of where the Lions are right now, I think too, which is where they understand that they're done. It's also a clear indication, I think, of the Minnesota Vikings realizing they can absolutely control this division and run the table. So go all in, make the moves right now. I mean, this is not the wagering show, it's a fantasy show, but look, the Vikings are going to go in there and everyone's going to say, well, they're kind of a paper tiger, all this stuff, but the NFC is wide open. So the more pieces you have, I know it's Kirk Cousins. I know there's some things people still kind of iffy on, wishy-washy and all that stuff. And the Eagles are undefeated and blah, blah, blah. The Minnesota Vikings are proving that they are out there and making moves and trying to make a run because the Packers clearly are not their competition this year. Also, some news. We have Awuzie, the cornerback for the Cincinnati Bengals, last night with the injury. He has a torn ACL. He is out for the season. I know in IDP circles that means something to some of you who have the IDP show watching it with me, with Bogman, on Wednesday nights. So that is a loss there for sure. We also had a firing of the OC for the Colts. So as if somehow the Colts offensive woes are all wrapped up in the offensive coordinator, I don't know, but we've had a change at quarterback, a change in OC 2 weeks in a row here. So now, what do you make of this Colts offense? Are you somebody that's buying it on the dip, or are you selling it before you have no idea what's coming next?
Floundering. They're floundering. I was already worried about Michael Pittman rest of the season. I'm extremely worried. Like we're at DEFCON, whatever's bad.
I think it. I always get them confused.
Is it colors or is it numbers? I forget.
It's numbers, but I can never remember if it's 5 is the worst or 5 is the beginning. I don't know.
Because I was like, is it DEFCON orange or red? I'm like, no, it's not colors.
It's something. No.
Either way, it's not good things for Michael Pittman. I think if you're going to take any positive away, it's maybe Jonathan Taylor. But again, he's already banged up as well. So do we see 100% Jonathan Taylor for the rest of the season? I don't know, Joe. It's bad.
That's a tough thing to ask too. Rest of season, have you moved him down your rankings?
I will. I'm adjusting rest of season rankings, and I will. Where does he fall for you? I'll pull mine up.
Well, right now, when you're looking rest of season, Jonathan Taylor, and I was just making adjustments to the dynasty rankings too. Rest of
Hmm.
season, Jonathan Taylor, I have McCaffrey, Barkley, Walker, ATN, and then I have Jonathan Taylor at 5. I think that's where my dynasty rankings are right now. Rest of
Oh,
season this year, yeah, I'm telling you, I'm feeling the Travis Etienne. I like what I see here. Rest of season here, I got Saquon, CMC, Austin Eckler, Derrick Henry, Chubb, Ken Walker, and then I've got a decision to make between DeAndre Swift, Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor. And I'm kind of going back and forth with those three pieces there because we've had some injury issues there. Josh Jacobs has been really good. All of a sudden now, it looks like the Raiders are kind of regressing, unfortunately, after coming out hot after the bye. So, I mean, if you're in a spot, I assume Kamara you'd probably also rather have. But Jonathan Taylor is more on that fringy top 10 than he is closer to top 5 right now for me.
I don't disagree, and I'm looking at my ranks right now. I've got Taylor. I've got CMC, Austin Eckler, Barkley, Chubb, Henry, Walker. I've got Jacobs at 7, and I got JT at 8. I'm honestly considering moving JT to 10 and
That's where
putting.
I just moved him to. I
I've
moved
got him at
Kamara,
yeah.
Swift,
I'm gonna.
Jacobs, ATN, Taylor. So Taylor actually outside because it feels like Taylor is closer now to the Mixon, Dalvin Cook than it is to the Ken
Yep.
Walker, Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry range. It just that's
Yeah.
kind of where I'm at right now.
That's where I'm at. I've got Jonathan Taylor at 10. He's kind of in a tier with some veteran guys that are going to get volume, and it's Jonathan Taylor, Dalvin Cook, and Damian Pierce
Mhm.
is actually my RB12. I have him over Joe Mixon, who's been terrible.
One other big trade that did happen last night to or yesterday afternoon, say Roquan Smith of the Bears going over to the Ravens. So the Ravens also kind of making that push. I think a little blood in the water there, where you see Jamar Chase out for a few weeks, and you see how the Steelers have played, and they're still waiting in Cleveland for Deshaun Watson to come back. But Roquan Smith is a big move here, and especially in the IDP world again, it's another big piece moving around. He has been the LB1 all year. He's been terrific. Let's get to some of your questions here. And of course, if you've got questions, we've got answers. So drop them in the chat. But remember, you have to be a subscriber in order to get your question answered. So go subscribe right now. And if you do, you just might enter to win a DK Metcalf autographed signed jersey. That's right, from the Seattle Seahawks own DK Metcalf at pristineauction.com. All you have to do is be a subscriber of our YouTube channel at Fantasy Pros. And don't forget to click that little bell till it goes ding so you know if you're the big winner of the jersey. And of course, like the stream, that always helps your chances as well. So like, subscribe, comment. That's all you got to do. And boom, DK Metcalf jersey can be yours. More injuries, more trade news as we go. But let's get to some of the questions here because they're piling up. Anton wants to know, he says, morning, Joe and Derek. It's 3:30 a.m. Australian time, and he's watching the stream. Anton,
Oh man,
you are the
that's
real
commitment.
hero of the show. Anton, thank you, my friend. Thanks for hanging
Shout
out
out.
with us. We appreciate you. 3:30 in the morning. Get some sleep, Anton. Get some rest after this show, will you? Eric Larson, good afternoon, guys. I both have Fields and Herbert in a single QB 12-person league, half PPR. Well, it doesn't matter. It's a quarterbacks. Is it crazy to see what I can get for a trade with Herbert and roll with Fields rest of the season? No, it is not crazy. In fact, I think you should do that right now. Your thoughts,
Yep.
Derek Brown?
I adamantly agree. I think Justin Fields is going to be a top. Oh,
Here,
where do you
here
put
we
him,
go
Joe?
again.
Top
Where'd you move him? I
7?
moved him up. I've got him at 8 rest of season. I'm very
Let me
aggressive on the
look.
Justin
Let me
Fields.
look. I've got Justin Fields at. I've got him
I've,
at 10, but I
I've
could
got him
easily.
right
There's an easy
behind
case to
Kyler.
make. There's an easy case to make to put him up in the top 7 or 8.
I'm
So,
going back and forth between Tua and Kyler. I got him at 8 and 9. But it's that rushing equity. I
well,
mean, if you're going to average 75 rushing yards a game, it doesn't matter what you do,
I've
how good
got
of a
Tua at
passer you are.
QB6. So,
You loving the Tua. I love the Tua too, but
I mean, Tua's
need
been lights
Tua.
out.
No,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
again, the rushing equity there. You're not
Hmm.
gonna play the Lions every week, although that'd be fun.
Well, you're looking at the back half of the season too, and while we're shifting, we're looking at this. It's not just schedule; it's like the health of the weapons around. Like Joe Burrow's ceiling is heavily correlated to Jamar Chase. We saw him
Mhm.
struggle against the Browns last night. The same thing can be said for Justin Herbert. All of his receiving weapons are hurt right now, Joe. Like Mike Williams is hurt. He's out for a few weeks. Keenan Allen is still not 100%. So where's the ceiling coming for Justin Herbert to push him over these guys?
I agree. I cannot fight that at all, so I won't. Anthony Tucci has a question. Rondell Moore or Adam Thielen. I'm going to go with Thielen, especially since this week he's got the Washington Commanders lined up. I like this. I know, Thielen was in the blue tent a little bit, but seems to be okay. Did come back into the game. So I'm going Thielen, whether it's this week or still rest of season. I know you like Rondo more, but is it a little soon to put him over Thielen? I think so.
I don't think so. I'm going with
Really?
Rondale Moore. I mean,
Why?
because look at every week he's been in the slot, Joe. He's
Yeah.
gotten like a 20 to 25% target share, and he's balling out. Like, so if that's the role he's going to play for the rest of the season, like this week, I've got Rondale Moore at wide receiver, and this is, I mean, we're talking about early ranks here.
Look, he
I've
was really
got
good this week. 7 of 8 targets for 92 yards, and he did have the touchdown too. So
It's
I,
quite
I'm,
good.
not, I'm not saying bad about him. I'd like to have both of these guys, but if I can only pick one, I think I still want Adam Thielen. But look, it's close. Let's put it that way.
I've got Rondale Moore right now in my early ranks. He is at wide receiver 20, 28, 29. So
Mhm.
a high end 3. And honestly, looking at some of the players I have above him, I can make it a case to put him in low end wide receiver 2 territory, especially in PPR
Making
leagues.
cases. That's what we're doing. Also, some injury news too. Cooper Kupp is going to play this week, so that's a positive for those people who are concerned. Mark Ingram's going to miss a fair amount of time as well, so he is going to be out for a while. Not that that's super relevant. Chuba Hubbard said that he feels like he could return in week 9, so that's a good thing. Gus Edwards is dealing with a minor hamstring strain and is questionable this week. That is not good because a lot of people picked him up, spent a lot of fab, and they kind of needed him to play. But this is the thing. When you come back from these ACL injuries, we saw it with J.K. Dobbins, we've seen it with some other players. Not everybody just comes back and becomes Adrian Peterson again. Some of them have these lingering other issues and these leg issues because they haven't been playing. So it's one of those things I keep warning people who are all gung-ho about, well, it's fine next year. Breece Hall is going to be fine. We're going to go right back to putting him up as a top 5 guy. I don't know. I don't know if we could do that. Same thing with Javonte. It's
Mhm.
tough. I just don't want to go jump into the pool again. But I think that's one of those things you have to be concerned too. Andy Reid made a comment earlier about it'll be a gradual process about Kadarius Toney. Are you believing him when he says these words?
I do. I mean, we talked
Okay.
about the fallout from it originally on the podcast, and I said I think this is a better dynasty move than I think for redraft. I don't
Agreed.
hold a ton of value, and especially we also have to give credence. Like last few weeks, Marquez Valdez-Scantling has looked like he's assimilating to the offense. Same thing with Juju. If they're going to play
Mhm.
well, that means less of an avenue for Kadarius Toney.
Yeah. Juju, especially last 2 weeks too. I mean, the first week I'm like, okay, it's a one-off, let's trade him. 2 weeks in a row, and then the bye, you're starting to think, okay, maybe the worm has turned there. And sometimes you gotta be fluid with these things. Nick H, is Josh Reynolds healthy? Even if he is, it's not somebody you're trying to run out there necessarily, especially now that Swift is back. Correct, Debro?
It's correct. I mean, I'm not
Okay.
a huge Josh Reynolds truther. The best thing he has going for him right now is massive red zone role. Like, I think he still
Mhm.
leads the team in red zone targets. So don't hate the guy, but I'm not in love with him either.
Dawn Thompson, time to drop Washington players. She wants to know Curtis Samuel. She has got Robinson. She says too. It's Curtis Samuel and James Robinson or Jay Robinson. So I can only assume she means James Robinson. She's got to try to better streaming waiver wire picks. So are you starting to drop some of the guys? I don't know if she means Brian Robinson. I'm assuming she means Brian there. But when it comes to the Washington players, I understand what Taylor Heineke thinks have been a little different than maybe
Hmm.
what our expectations have been. But it's hard at this point to look at the waiver wire and see a lot of things that you like. If Joshua Palmer's out there, would you drop Curtis Samuel for Palmer? That's a name that popped in my head right away.
I would. I would drop
Okay.
Curtis Samuel for Palmer. I mean, you're just looking at target share, and Herbert's got to throw the ball somewhere besides Austin Eckler's direction. So, yeah, I don't hate the
What
call,
about
especially going up against
Wandale
Atlanta.
Robinson? Will Robinson be a guy you might drop? I
I
mean,
I
add, I
would
should say, for
Yeah, I
this.
would take Wandell over Curtis Samuel, even after last week's bad game. I think it's a blip on the radar.
All right, let's get to the next one here. Alexander Fox. I'm trying to trade Mostert and Walker for Justin Jefferson. Good luck with that, Alexander.
I
Uh,
mean,
I
good
love
luck with
Kenneth
that.
Walker,
And
but that ain't happening. If you pull that off, you're my hero.
I
But
mean, the
that
other
ain't
part
enough.
about that is who's your running backs after you're giving away two right now that are
Well,
basically like top 20 backs.
I guess here's the thing. If you have Walker on your roster and you drafted him, you got him super late. So you probably
Yeah.
have some other guys in there in the first to third round draft capital that you
Thielen,
might, maybe
Mostert.
it's Dalvin Cook or Joe Mixon. You're looking, I'm okay. Let me see if I can make a run, but that ain't enough for Jefferson. You're gonna have to go much better for that. Mitchell Sharp. Pardon me, Mitchell. Is it time to drop Trevor Lawrence? I have Tom Brady as a starter, or do I drop Brady and start Trevor? Tom Brady has not been great. I know we keep waiting for it to turn around, but I'm getting sick and tired of waiting. So who would you rather have rest of season, Trevor Lawrence or Tommy Boy?
Tom Brady. I would take Tom Brady. And if you look at all the metrics for Tom Brady, his play has not dropped off as far as how he's playing. He's still top 10, top 12 in most efficiency metrics that you look
Mhm.
at. It's just the disparity comes to how many times is Mike Evans going to drop a 60-yard pass?
Mhm.
Chris Godwin hasn't been fully healthy. I still have faith that Brady can rebound on the back half of the season. I would have dropped Trevor Lawrence already. He's a game manager. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, you could toss him in the same bucket as Daniel Jones or Zach Wilson. Trevor Lawrence is basically Daniel Jones, but he doesn't run.
Mhm. Yeah. By the way, speaking of quarterbacks, if for some reason Justin Fields is still out there, he is the sleeper waiver wire ad of the week. He's my favorite guy to
Mhm.
add, and he's still out there in a lot of leagues, way more than he should be. So, sleeper is a great spot where you can play not only your fantasy leagues, but they have the daily drafts game that just opened up. They have an over/under game that's super smart and fun. So there's a lot of things to do on Sleeper. Go check that out. But also check out Justin Fields' numbers these last few weeks. I mean, he is rushing at a fantastic clip. He is moving, I should say, skyrocketing up the QB board. And it's not always pretty. That's okay. Do you remember last year with Jalen Hurts where it wasn't always pretty, but the rushing equity was there? Guess what? It's happening again. It's just a little late. So it doesn't matter what happened for the first 6 weeks of the season. These last few weeks have been really good. Go pick up Justin Fields. I'd rather have Justin Fields over Brady, over Lawerence, over all those guys. So I've already got him rest of season as QB 8. Maybe that's a little aggressive, but once again, the floor of points, D-bro. Once you start having those runs that are designed for him on top of what he does athletically on his own, that just equals fantasy points, regardless of whatever problems. And the more they treat defensive players away, the more they're going to be playing from behind and have to keep pressing the offense and pressing the ball. Your thoughts on Justin Fields again for those people just joining us, D?
I love Justin Fields. I mean, how do you not? Since week 4, he's the
Yeah.
QB6 in fantasy. We've seen the massive drop off and the disparity between Josh Allen's the world, Jalen Hurts, even Lamar Jackson before he kind of, hit the skids with basically the entire offense getting hurt around him. I'm with you. I've got Justin Fields up to QB7 for rest of
Mm-hmm.
the season. He's right behind Tua, and we need to understand production and a lot of the ways that we were thinking Justin Fields could get there this year. We didn't see it at the beginning of the season, but people have to understand that the season is fluid. Justin Fields is
Right.
playing really well over the last few weeks. Like, I get he's not throwing for like 250, 300 yards, things like that.
Doesn't matter.
He's running, he's been efficient, and he's playing well versus good defenses, Joe. Like the Dallas Cowboys secondary playing well. They're first in pressure rate in the NFL, and people are like, oh, he went out and had a good game against Dallas. What do you think he's going to do against the Dolphins this week?
Well, I mean, look at the schedule coming up. Dolphins, Lions, Falcons. Jets defense is pretty good. Then you get the Packers and a bye. Now, the
Man.
playoff schedule, a little rocky there. You get the Eagles, the Bills, and then Detroit again if you can get through those. So I get that. But, I mean, look, man, it's crazy. QB5, 2 weeks in a row, 24 points, 26 points, 88 rushing yards, 82 rushing yards, 60 rushing yards. Look, it doesn't have to be pretty. He doesn't have to be throwing for 200 yards, for God's sake. All of those performances I just gave you, he's averaging somewhere around 175 yards passing. So it
Well, and the
doesn't
other
matter.
part about this is that Darnell Mooney has touchdown regression. Like it's coming.
Probably.
He hasn't scored any this year.
Well, he's finding some of the other guys too. He's finding St. Brown. He's finding Demir Bird.
Yep,
He's finding the open man.
run the ball
So
around.
in terms of your evolution at quarterback, that's what you want him to do.
Yeah.
You want him to find the open receiver. That's what you do at the NFL level. This is not college where you could just constantly just throw to that one guy you want and he's going to dominate because you're better on that side of the ball than the other team. This ain't Ohio State, boys and girls. Let's go to Mr. Green, who obviously was the murderer in the study with the knife. With Kittle on a bye, who should I start, Hurst or Isaiah Likely?
I'm just gonna take a second to sit there and
I
pour
love
one out
Clue.
for that
Clue is
for that
great.
joke that you just made.
Love Clue.
Um, I'm gonna go Hurst.
Okay. Reasoning why, or just because you fear Mark
Well,
Andrews'
no, I
health
think his
being good
target
enough?
volume's really good. The other thing
Mhm.
about Isaiah Likely, he's playing the stonewall that is the Saints defense. They
He
do not give
is,
up.
but Bateman's going to be out,
Okay.
and there's more to go around. And likely seems to be a guy that Lamar certainly looks for. I'm not gonna say like it's like he's funneling the ball to him or anything like that. But for a rookie even to be getting that kind of shine, I think is worthy of note. I agree with you. I think Hurst is a safer play, but I don't think this is a crazy question, Mr. Green. So
No,
I
I
hope
don't
you
think
don't
it's
get
crazy,
arrested for
but
that
I
later.
mean, I keep running it up in the primer. I'm like, the Saints are a no-fly zone for tight ends. You're looking at a defense that has the fourth
Fair enough.
lowest receiving yards allowed to tight ends, and they have not given up a touchdown to tight ends. They're only one of 3 teams this year that
Wow.
have still not allowed a touchdown to tight ends. So they're up there with the Bills and the Jets with 0
Good
scores
stats. I
allowed.
can't argue with
So
that. So there you go. It's Hurst all the way. Jay New York. Should I drop Rashod Bateman? You can if there's something better on
depends
the
your
waiver wire.
options.
I
Just
will
it
say
comes
this.
down to
I'm going to talk
options.
about this on the pod later today. I feel like this is a great time to buy low on Dynasty and him. Just do it.
Oh yeah,
Like it's rock
agreed.
bottom. There's
Mhm.
unknown whether or not Lamar's going to be quarterback there next year at all. That might not be a bad thing necessarily, depending on who they bring in to replace him. He could be back, and that's okay too. Bateman's at rock bottom right now. He's only a second year player in Dynasty Keeper leagues. Buy him for just cents on the dollar. Connor Brennan. What about Geno versus Herbert rest of season? I still go Herbert over Geno, but I get where you're coming
Yeah.
from.
I'll still go Herbert over Geno. I just think you're looking at similar situations in the fact that both of their top wide receivers are hurt. So which did anybody really think DK Metcalf was going to play and then play pretty well last week? I didn't see that coming. I thought he was definitely out. So I'll still go with Herbert, even though I think it's really close.
Do you want to shade a comment here? I can give you a shade comment. You want to hear it?
Oh yeah, nah, hit
You
me.
like the shade? You like the shade?
Always
Yeah, you're
for it.
not afraid?
Always,
Derek Brown
always.
doesn't live in the sunlight. He lives in the shade. This is from Ahmad. Derek Brown, you cost me a win. Thanks for that bust Irv Smith start.
uh, so we're
Well,
not going to talk about
considering
the
the
fact that
logic
Irv Smith
behind
got
it,
hurt.
I was gonna say,
Like,
considering the logic behind it, Irv Smith was in every position to smash that week.
I
So
mean,
he got
for
hurt.
all of your Irv Smith hate, I will see you and I raise you Juwan Johnson. So
That's fine. That is acceptable.
yeah.
Also, I'm gonna throw some shade at Erickson later because I told him Foreman would have at least one touchdown on the live stream the other day, and he was like, "No, not happening, not
Um.
happening." So he had three.
Uh. Joe. I remember. I'm old enough to remember last week when I got not laughed off the podcast, but whenever I said I'd be starting Deontay Foreman over Mondre and over Aaron Jones, but that
See,
aged
over
decently.
Aaron Jones, I was with you. Over Mondre, there, I was abandoning that one. I thought that was a little heady. Ended up being correct, but you were still wanting to add Chuba Hubbard over Foreman. Kofi Abasa, what up, fellas? This cat wants to give me Russell Wilson and Drake London for Jerry Jeudy. Yes or no? Russell
uh.
Wilson and Drake London for Jerry Jeudy. Well, it depends on what your
I
situation is
mean,
at
is this
quarterback.
dynasty? Is this redraft? And
I
redraft,
don't know. We have no context, so let's
and
just do them all.
so in dynasty, yeah, take the Russ side. In redraft, I want Jeudy.
Well, you want the Russ side because the Russ side's got Drake London, so that's a
Oh, of
no-brainer.
course,
Yeah,
because I like alpha wide receivers. So
yeah. Drake London is moved up to very high on my dynasty rankings today that I just
oh,
sent out there.
he never dropped for me.
I
He's
think
so
even
tough.
this is tough because I would obviously wait till this afternoon to see if Jeudy gets traded. I still say the Giants should be in the market for Jerry Jeudy. It makes perfect sense. And
Mm,
the Broncos need picks in the worst way. And Hamler's played well. I mean, nobody wants to hear that. Everyone keeps laughing at me like KJ Hamler can be a thing. KJ Hamler can be a thing. And when Tim Patrick comes back healthy
mhm.
next year, they're fine. They don't need Jerry Jeudy. They need more picks. That's what they
Yep.
need. And they need a
Yeah.
head coach. Ugh.
Ugh.
Turpy. Should I trade Alvin Kamara for Aaron Jones? No,
Mm-mm.
that's a
No.
terrible idea.
No. You keep Kamara, especially coming.
Don't do
Here's the
that.
other thing: coming off the
It's one
big
of
game,
those
and I
tough
know Aaron
matchups.
Jones
What
had
are
a
you
good
doing?
game too, but coming off a
No,
fantastic
no.
game, you should be getting way more back for Alvin
To be
Kamara if
to
you're going
be
to trade him.
honest, like as much as they gave the ball to
It's a
Aaron Jones,
wash.
AJ Dillon started to look better too. Like I was like, okay, are we resurrecting AJ Dillon in this offense now? So no, I'm going with Alvin
No,
for sure.
no.
Omar Medina. Hey, you beautiful bald man. What's up, Omar? Uh, what do I do with Jonathan Taylor? Hold or trade him for another RB? Look, I already told you right now, I'd rather have Travis Etienne rest of season than some other guys I've
Same.
already mentioned. And you might be able to pull that trade off still, but that window is getting shorter and shorter. I'd rather have Swift. I'd rather have Etienne. After that, if I'm going
Swift.
below, then it's got to be guys like Pollard plus or Ramondre plus. Like that's the kind of deal you have to have if you're going to slide the scale. Are you with me on that one?
I'm with you on that one. I think the Swift one is dicey. I have Swift pretty low, and people, I think we get too much merit to, like, he's not getting goal line work. Jamaal Williams is getting that. Like, for
That's
as much
fair,
as we
but he's
want
getting
DeAndre Swift,
receptions. As long as
he
he's
is.
averaging 5 targets a game, that makes up for it. Like
I would take
because
I think
he's still got 3 TDs in the 4 games he's played. Regardless of, you're 100% right. Jamaal Williams is annoying. He takes away the goal line touches, but let's be honest. I mean, he's still getting 5 touches a game. He's still scoring touchdowns at what 0.75 per game. That's pretty good. That's a good clip.
There's a 3-pack of running backs that I want to say. If you're going to get rid of Jonathan Taylor, you go out and you try to get one of these running backs and a little bit of sauce on top. It's Travis Etienne, Dameon Pierce, and the third one I'll give you is Ramondre Stevenson.
I like sauce on top. Sauce is good. Big fan.
Sauce is good.
Yeah, hot sauces, all the sauces. Also, you know what else is good? Touchdowns. We got a touchdown leaderboard. We got a touchdown contest too. Don't forget, fantasypros.com/chat. It's out there. It's available for you. Now, it's free to join our Discord at fantasypros.com/chat. But if you want to go premium, you get access to the cool features, the stages, the AMAs, all that fun stuff, and the touchdown call channel. Somehow, Hearts 24K still up at the top. Congratulations, just crushing life right now with the touchdown contest. But don't think, oh, I can't join now. It's midway. I can't weigh in anything. No, of course you can win stuff because the weekly winners, whoever does the best, is getting a $25 just spending spree on our fantasypros.com/shop store. So you get a hat, get a t-shirt, fun stuff there. So go check that out. Here's a fun question. I like this one. This is from Anthony Rishia, our good friend Anthony, who's always here every week. Would you drop Tom Brady for Justin Fields? You're going to be shocked by my answer. Yes.
Yep.
Yes, I would.
Yep.
I am Mr. Brady. It's time to move on with the points. You take the points. Anthony, another Anthony with the Hockenson trade. Who is the Lions tight end 1? And are they worth picking up or streaming? Derek Brown, Layden, talk about that. The vacant targets now. I know people are going to go, oh, Josh Reynolds, this guy is. It's Swift, it's Amon-Ra until further notice. I can't get too excited about the rest of the Lions, but who takes over that spot now for the Lions at tight end?
So I looked down, I kind of cheated. I looked down and I saw this was coming up here. So I was like, let me go do a little quick research. And the guy that actually I've got some intrigue in because he's played well in small samples is Brock Wright. So he's got a really strong PFF receiving grade. He's almost at 2 yards per route run, and he's athletic, Joe. Like, honestly, this is a guy you need to be picking up. If you're struggling with tight end in redraft, fine, take a flyer on him. But in dynasty circles, the guy runs a 4.7. Like, he's got a 77 percentile speed score. So
what
actually,
college did he play at, Brock Wright?
Notre Dame.
Ah, another Notre Dame tight end. That's right.
I'm more.
He was the post Cole Kmet guy. That's who he was.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
I'm more
intrigued with him than honestly I thought I would be before I looked him up. It's kind of surprising.
You know what I'm smelling here, my friend? A little conversation for the DFS show on Friday.
Woo,
I bet Brock is min salary.
He's got to be.
I can guarantee it.
2,500, something like that. Like something like
forget
ridiculously low.
Friday on the Twitter machine, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Doing some good work there. All right, let's go to Corey Price. Deonta Foreman, trade high target ideas. This is a question here. Would you go and trade Foreman for Jonathan Taylor right now? Sounds insane. But I don't know if it is.
I would. I mean, honestly, I would try to get Foreman and add something to get up to that ETN type of tier.
Okay.
Or Mondre or Pierce. I think Pierce is probably the easiest guy because he's coming off a down game. I think he might be the easiest player to try to go get out of that 3-pack.
What about Pollard too? I mean, I know they've got the bye this week, but after they come out of the bye, Green Bay, Minnesota, the Giants, Colts, Houston, Jacksonville. Then you get a tough one with Philly and Tennessee in there at the end.
I would love to tell you yes, Joe, but I got 2 words for you, and these are the only 2 words that matter. Jerry Jones.
Gross. I hate those words. All right, let's move on. Wesley Chu. Start Schultz or a TJ Hockenson? Well, you can't start Schultz because he's on a bye this week.
So makes it easy for you.
Hockenson. It's the easiest question we'll have all day. Benjamin Morrison. Should I trade Pickens for Garrett Wilson in a PPR league? No.
No.
Zach Wilson. Yeah. Zach Wilson is playing quarterback for the Jets.
He's bad.
Nobody wants to hear this. I don't know how many times I
really
said it on the draft show 2 years ago.
Nobody wants to hear it.
I said it on the actually no. I said it on the college football show 2 years ago. Then I said it on the draft show. Then I said it last year. Then I said it this year. I don't know what we're looking at when we're trying to evaluate Zach Wilson as though somehow things are going to change, like he is going to be a very good quarterback in the NFL. Not only that, there's pressure already in this, because I'm in the New York area, I'm in Jersey. You're hearing the rumblings already of people saying they should go back to Flacco. Like that's the only way to save this season because they have the defense. There's no doubt about that. The defense has played very well this year. It's well coached. They have good personnel. They have 3 tiers of a defense a lot of teams would kill for, where they have a star up front, in the middle, and in the secondary. Listen to me now. Believe me later. If Zach Wilson has another bad start, you will get Joe Flacco because there's no reason for the Jets not to compete right now in this AFC that's wide open in the wild card spot.
I don't disagree. I think the Jets are going to be in purgatory for as long as they continue to invest in Zach Wilson.
But you can't make that trade. You can't trade pick because you need Joe Flacco to that. But the minute Joe Flacco, like if you can get, don't trade Pickens for him, but if you can get Garrett Wilson on the cheap and just stash him, like you're a really good team, I would do it. Because I think there's a chance you're going to see Joe Flacco again at some point.
With quarterback issues, I'll give you this one, Joe. We'll flip this. We'll flip this on its head. Would you try to go out and get Pickens, and something added like Pickens plus, and get rid of Michael Pittman? Like I'm really worried about Michael Pittman.
Yeah,
I would. That
and
Colts offense looks like it's just about to crater.
And my other big salty rant was talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers schedule coming out of the bye, which gets much more.
I know all of your Pickett love.
It's good practice, D-bro. The schedule gets better. The kid has extra week of preparation. I mean, talk about getting thrown to the Lions.
Now I got to pull up the schedule.
And I don't mean thrown to the Lions, like the Lions that don't play defense every Sunday. I mean the actual physical Lions of they threw him to Buffalo. They threw that kid to the Eagles. I mean, in Buffalo, like that is tough. Give this guy a little moment here. It's going to be fine. Go pull it up. Daniel Martinez with Higbee and Kupp potentially out. Who do you think picks up the targets? Well, Kupp doesn't look like he's going to be out.
Kupp doesn't look like he's going to be out. I don't think that Higbee's missing any time either.
I wouldn't worry about this because sorry, spoiler alert here in this game. It's not like Allen Robinson's all of a sudden going to make a huge. Van Jefferson is the only other guy that could be on the waiver wire that can help you, but those guys are going to play. At least Kupp's going to play. He's not going to miss the game against the Bucs.
Outside of Kupp, I want no part of the Rams offense right now.
One more question, then we'll get to the Steelers schedule. Hefty. I like that name. That's funny. PPR. Drop Knox for Ingram.
Yes.
I agree. One more. Charles Erath. Not Earth. Do you think Breece Hall has trade value in redraft keeper league?
Yep.
Yeah, of course he does. He has massive value. Of course he does. And if you can get someone to overpay for it, you take it. Because there's no sure thing with him coming back next year and looking great right away. He could be delayed. He could have setbacks. He might not look the same. It might take 2 years. Like you don't know.
Nope.
So if you get something good, do it. All right, you look at that Pittsburgh schedule. You're starting to understand what the Rockets.
All right, so let's roll through this. So he gets the Saints, the Bengals, which now the Bengals their secondary is decimated. Like he gets
Awuzie,
Colts.
Eli Apple stinks. Continue.
Well, Eli Apple's hurt and Awuzie is out for the season. So you're probably going to get like a combination of a rookie and then Trey Flowers. So, Or if they I would love for them to re-sign William Jackson. And then we're like, just throw all over the Bengals.
Next.
And then he gets the Colts, which is not good. Then he gets the Falcons, the Ravens.
Colts might have a coach by then. Falcons good. Panthers good.
Ravens bad. Raiders good. Ravens bad. Browns, So
it's better.
I see better. Some. Okay,
The key here is he's facing some more AFC teams again.
And he's
And now
not
he go
facing the
facing the
gauntlet.
Eagles.
He
Right.
faced the gauntlet. Like, it was the Bills, the Buccaneers, the Dolphins, and then the Eagles. So 3 of those 4 teams, you're just praying for
He's
Pickett.
facing the
So I get
lower
it.
tier AFC or the mid-tier AFC. That's what you want.
I
Daniel Reyes, drop
ugh.
Carr for Fields. Yes.
Yes. Carr's
Look, you're
dust.
dropping
Bye.
pretty much anybody. I don't care if it's
Yes.
Rodgers, Brady. Forget the big names. I don't care. Kirk
No.
Cousins, I'd rather have Fields. I'd
Yep.
rather have Fields, and this is not a hot take. This is just stats telling you. Nick
Rushing.
Lowinger, does Amon-Ra St. Brown's value increase without Hockenson?
I
Yes,
mean, he was
but
already a wide
he was
receiver
already
1, so
high.
he's still gonna be a wide receiver 1. I think it's
Look, man,
I
it's another
honestly
2
think it's a
targets a
push.
game, and that's it moves, but not significantly.
It's
King
not
J,
fun. Yeah.
how do you guys feel about Sutton? I don't. I've got no feelings about Sutton because I've been out on
I'm
them for a
sad.
while.
I'm sad. Although I will say, if you're holding on to Sutton Hope right now, you're almost kind of wanting a Jerry Jeudy trade, because then Sutton just goes into he's going to hoover
That
targets.
would help. Yeah, the Jeudy trade would make me in again on Courtland Sutton, but only to a degree. You know who else I would get in on too? Dulcich with Jerry Jeudy out too. That's another
Yep.
guy too. Dulcich, I was not impressed with Dulcich in the combine. He didn't do it for me. Not an impressive combine. He was good in college games. I watched him in college play. Combine was disappointing, so I've been kind of lukewarm to him as a prospect in the NFL. But so far, I've seen the NFL. It's been good. Like, he looks like he belongs there, and it's hard for rookie tight ends. This is from Edwin Tamayo. Should I trade Jamaal Williams? Sure, depending on what you can
Yes.
get for him.
Should absolutely do that.
Adam O, Fields or Lamar this week? Ooh, now we're getting somewhere. D-bro. What do you want to do here? You gonna go with our boy Lamar? I mean, Lamar hasn't been throwing up those 40-point games. It wasn't like September. September Lamar hasn't been the same. I think I'd play Fields.
Are we already assuming in this that Mark Andrews is going to be ruled out? Because I think that's probably about right.
Probably, but also Bateman out too. Like, I know that doesn't necessarily portend to, oh no, like, well, then Lamar has to run more and do more. I get that narrative, but what if Gus Edwards is out too?
I'm still going to go Lamar.
Go Kenyon Drake?
Lamar. Yeah, I'm still going to go Lamar. I think you're looking at a New Orleans secondary that's banged up. Maybe Lattimore comes back and it pushes it. Like, it's hard. Like, if you're going for absolute ceiling and you have a juggernaut, I get going Fields because the matchup is fantastic, but I'm still going to go Lamar.
Yeah, I got to tell you, man, I think I got to make this adjustment. I'm going to do it right now.
Where do you have Lamar ranked then for the week?
I had him at 5 and I had Fields at 6, and now I just flip-flopped him because now with more news that came out today about what's going on with Gus, what's going on with everybody there. I mean, they're falling apart at the seams, and I think it's great that they're going out there and trying to beef up the defense because God knows they need to, and they need a little leadership back there too. Hopefully,
just
Roquan can bring that.
To update on the previous news stuff. You see why the Vikings made the move for TJ Hockenson. It just dropped that Herb Smith is going to miss 8 to 10 weeks. So it's not just an ankle sprain. He fractured.
It's a high ankle with damage. So he's probably going to have surgery.
He messed up something. So
yeah. So I mean, because there's the degrees of high ankle sprain too, which I've learned, which is there's a degree where it goes all the way to the part where it requires surgery. That clearly seems to be what that is. So wish him a speedy recovery. Big fan of the Irv Smith. Stinks. Yeah. Don't like when guys get hurt. Michael R. Drop Wandale for Slayton. You know, exchange the wide receivers on the Giants here.
I mean, I don't hate it. I feel like it's kind of a wash. I still think that if you're looking for ceiling, I think Wandale has a higher ceiling for rest of the season, especially in PPR formats.
All right, let's move on here. Actually, I have done a jersey read, just so you know, Chris. I did, but I'll do it again. There's no curtain here. I take the curtain and I go like this. And if I go like this again, maybe the
have we ever had a curtain on any of the shows we do live, Joe? I don't know if that's
there it is. Oh, I wasn't. You're supposed to wait. This is the problem now. Now that I
everybody's wondering now, and Chris is smack talking the hell out of Joe right now. It's fantastic.
Chris is just saying,
I love
I'm going to leave the jersey up over your faces for the rest of the show. How you like them apples, you jerks? I like them just fine. You know what else I like? I like a DK Metcalf autographed jersey. Thanks to our good friends at pristineauction.com. Again, don't forget, you can like the video, share, subscribe, but be a subscriber of the YouTube channel. Drop a question or comment in the chat today. and turn on that bell for notifications, and you just might win this DK Metcalf. It's a hot looking jersey too. Number 14. You can't stop that, man. Can't stop Chris either. Oh, Chris, he brought us back.
There we go. He brought us back. Well,
and
look, I didn't do anything to Chris, so he'd either have to cover up both of us. There's really not an well, maybe Chris is maybe I'm lying. Maybe there's an option just to cover up Joe, but none of them.
Well, if there was an option, I'm sure we would have taken that option.
Yeah, you would have never been on the show to begin with. It's okay.
Everyone knows I bring down the ratings. Joel Nates, I can't decide whether to let go AJ Dillon. He's never start worthy, but if Jones ever gets hurt, then he is a god. You can't drop AJ Dillon. You're stuck. So I mean, you have two choices.
It depends.
You find the Aaron Jones person and you say, here, take this. It's driving me crazy. Give me somebody back that I can play this week. And that's fair. It's not going to be a great piece, but it might be a playable piece if you have pieces that are on bye that haven't been performing well. I get that deal. But you're just stuck. You can't drop AJ Dillon. He will get picked up immediately if you drop him.
I think the used car salesman thing's got to be a little bit better. Like, oh, here's my trash. Give me something. Like,
not even,
come on, Joe. Like,
but if I'm the Aaron,
here's the
Jones
handcuff for your team. Here's what you need to insulate your roster for the playoffs. Here you go.
I'm not saying you're going to phrase it the way I phrase it, but what I am saying is,
well, that's how our trade negotiations go. I'm like,
no,
I
that's how they go with you. You try to
go.
Sell me on some stuff, and I click reject. That's how they work. Like, we work together in the industry. Why are you trying to sell me on something? I think this deal sells itself. If you have Aaron Jones, there's definitely a part of you that goes, well, they did give AJ Dillon a lot of work in that game, more than they've given him recently. Maybe it'd be a good idea for this stretch run to have AJ Dillon on the roster. And I think it sells itself. Go out there, make that move. Timothy Jones, Kyle Pitts, or Hayden Hurst in the PPR. We did have the Kyle Pitts touchdown last week. Yay.
I'll go Pitts.
I like this name. Killer Gorilla. Hollins, Mooney, or D. Robinson. I have to pick one off waivers this week or someone else. Well, I can't see with the, can't see what you got out there.
It's
Mooney. I agree. Yeah. I'm with
He's
you.
Mooney.
Nick Gawarski. Nick Gawarski. I'm sorry. I've got a fourth grade education. We will be, are we selling Zach Wilson in Dynasty or holding? If you heard my rant from 20 minutes ago, you're selling him for whatever you can get.
Good luck, whatever you can get.
Well, look, most dynasties are super flex. People take shots.
Take a 23 second. If you're really dire, like in a 1 QB league, try to get like a 24 second. I'd take either one of those for Zach Wilson. I
second pick is reasonable.
Would
you take Malik Willis for him?
No, I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't do that because just because of the hit rates for quarterbacks that are drafted outside the first round, much less the top 2 rounds, are incredibly terrible. You're making an outlier bet. I'd rather have some kind of stable equity piece if you're getting rid of Zach Wilson in Dynasty. But look, my comp for Zach Wilson when he came out, and you go check the receipts, man, it was Mitch Trubisky. So I'm out.
Gross. Okay, let's go to JM. Hey, Joe and Derek, I have Higgins, the Sun God, Olave, Hollywood Brown. Should I try to package 2 together for a wide receiver upgrade? And if so, who? Redraft standard league. Well, I'm worried about Hollywood Brown's return, when that is, how that is. Also, are the Cardinals relevant by that time? And if they're not, do we push him? A lot of unknowns there. So Brown would be the guy for me, but that's a tough sell here. And in a standard league, look, Olave is really good. Higgins is going to be, look, you have to wipe away last night's game a little bit, but Amon-Ra is good. Olave is good. Higgins is good. I get it. You don't have that one true alpha, but I don't know if you can package these guys together to get that in a standard league. Do you?
I think so. If you're trying to get up, I think the idea is to package. I would probably package T. Higgins with Hollywood and try to get up. The problem is who are you going to get up to? Like, that's not going to get you up to Kupp or Jefferson or Diggs. AJ Brown, you could have done that maybe before the monster game this week.
You're
not going to get Tyreek Hill.
You could get maybe. I mean, if you think he's that guy.
What about trying to? All right, I'll give you one, Joe. If the Cowboys make a second half run, do you think it's worthy to? Do you think it's an upgrade from T to CD Lamb? I mean, it feels kind of like a wash, but I could see more upside as far as target share.
That's a trade you can make right now because CD's on a bye too, and that person's hurting for wide receiver. I do. I think I
Maybe
give that a shot.
maybe you do T and Hollywood, and you go try to get like CD Lamb and like an
Mm,
RB3 type or something like that.
yeah.
Like something else to help your team.
I just got an update on my playbook app about Irv Smith that you mentioned before. So, because I do
Love
have
it.
some shares of Irv Smith, and if you need updates for all of your players, or you need some extra help, or you need just a little bit more to push you over the top to go get that championship, my playbook is for you. It's free to go download the app. Go to Apple Store, Google, wherever you go, or go to fantasypros.com/myplaybook and download the greatest suite of tools in the history of fantasy football. It's all there for you at My Playbook. You can sync your leagues for free. And if you're a premium member at fantasypros.com/offers, you can go ahead and you can take that bad boy to the moon and use all the amazing tools like the waiver wire helper. We've got the trade analyzer out there. We've got the waiver assistant. I mean, there's just amazing, like the autopilot feature where you could just set it and forget it for some of the lineups too. The amazing suite of tools. Go check it out at My Playbook as well. So that is free again, but premium users get access to way more of those tools and some of the things that they can do for you. The cheat sheets is free too. So every week you can go set your lineups or make some trades or work off the cheat sheets also, which is very cool. So let's get to some more of your questions that are cool. Blizzo Gotti. Ooh, Blizzo Gotti. I knew him in the neighborhood. Trade Mixon for Swift. Derek will tell you no. I will tell you yes.
I will
Correct?
tell you no. So I would get Swift and a PPR and the half point. I want Mixon.
Okay.
Just touchdowns.
Justin Jeffords, would you drop Jacoby Myers for Jeudy
No,
if he gets traded in a half PPR? No. No.
no,
I mean,
no,
I'd
no,
like to
no.
add Jeudy if he's out there. This is
I
clearly a
just
10-team league issue.
the Jacoby Myers shade is just I just he is now we're talking about players to trade for. Like Jacoby Myers gets so much
Very
disrespect, Joe.
undervalued.
Like it's
Yeah.
insane to me. So like here's his finishes over the last few weeks when he's been active. Wide receiver 18, wide receiver 8, wide receiver 39, 33, and last week he was wide receiver 10. People would need to put some respect on this man's name. No, I don't want Jerry Jeudy in a broken
It's
offense
because of
or
the
a
uncertainty
trade.
at quarterback. It's because of the history of not catching touchdowns. It's a
Well, it's because
lot of
he's a
things that
Patriot.
really, and it's because he's a Patriot. But it's a lot of things that people are living in. Again, you're living in a concept rather than the reality of what's going on.
Put
Reality is the
respect on
guy's
his name.
productive. Go get him. Carson P has a good one here. Isaiah Pacheco or Rashod White rest of season. Looking to drop one to pick up Fields. So who are you dropping?
I am dropping Rashod White.
Agreed. Zach Nelson. Should I sell Dalvin Cook? I have Aaron Jones and Kareem Hunt. I would wait to see if Kareem Hunt gets traded today and then sell him because I think
Depends. Yeah.
I
I
think
mean, it
that new
depends on
car
what you get back.
smell.
I mean, that's vacuum
Yeah.
trade offers. It all just depends on what you get back. But I mean, I think out of those three, yeah, I agree with you, Joe. I think it's whole Kareem Hunt. He gets traded, then you trade him.
If Kareem Hunt gets traded to the Rams, let's say today, I'm just throwing a team out.
Mm.
Like all of a sudden, I think once again we get to a point where perhaps the theoretical value of a player is even greater than his actual value. It's going to take him a couple weeks to figure out the offense. It's going to take him a couple weeks to ingratiate himself there, and then he has to also play well and get the football. So a lot of things have to work. And Kareem Hunt's a talented guy, but if he gets traded today, that's the guy you put out there first, and you see what happens, and then you can negotiate off that. Dylan, would you trade Pittman and Tyler Algier for Debo? Not a fan of acquiring Debo right now between the injury
I
and
would.
Christian McCaffrey being there. You still do this one?
I would do this one because I think if you're looking at just offensive environment, Debo's is a million times better. So
I'd rather have
I would.
Tyler Lockett, not going to lie.
If he wasn't banged up, I would agree with you.
Okay. Austin Wilhelm. Drop Christian. Well, I mean, it's not like Debo's healthy.
No, that's fair too. That's fair. I'll just
Austin
lean off.
Wilhelm.
I'll lean the offensive system on that one though.
Drop Christian Kirk for DJ Moore or Jacoby Myers.
Immediately, like
For which
yesterday. Either. I mean, if you're picking DJ Moore, but I would take both of these players over Christian Kirk.
David A, CEH or Hines in a PPR. I'm not sure if JT with a possible reoccurring ankle injury.
Well, there's also rumors out there that maybe Raheem Hines gets traded too.
Dealt, yeah.
So, it's early in the week.
I say CEH.
Yeah, I go CEH.
Zachary G, flex half PPR. Cooks, Palmer, or drop one for Rondell Moore.
Drop Palmer for Rondell immediately.
Okay, there you have it. Adrian Aguilar, do I trade Devontae Adams for DK, Amari Cooper, and Debo? You're getting all of
You're
that?
getting all 3 of those? Yes.
What? Yes, just do
Yes.
it.
Yeah,
That's
just do that.
that's a lot. Some people are gonna be unhappy about that trade in your league. You better watch
I
yourself.
mean, even in a 10 team, that's still way overpaying for Devontae,
2
and
of
I
these
like
guys is
Devontae, but,
enough. I love
yeah,
Devontae, but DK and Amari is enough. Like,
yeah,
just be prepared. There's gonna
Cooper
be
and one of those wide receivers should be
people at the
plenty.
keyboards, lots of messaging and emails and texts about
Mhm.
this trade, and people are going to want to veto it, which is stupid. There should be no vetoes in leagues, but
Never.
this is a dumb move. So if you don't want to catch shade, take one of those wide receivers out and just make that trade. Still good. Mike, Marquise Brown is on waivers in my league. Do I pick him up and stash him on the IR? I mean, sure, why not? It doesn't cost you anything to do that. You know, a couple fab bucks at the most. Sure, why not? I mean, if anything, maybe pick him up, put him on IR, and use him in a trade piece. Did we get a trade? You're making a
No,
face.
I'm making a face
Why'd
because
you
I
do
just
that?
heard no, hold on. There's a rumor that just hit the wire about the Cowboys are talking about potential trades involving CeeDee Lamb. That's interesting.
What?
Wow.
That's nonsense. I don't buy that for a
That's interesting.
second.
I mean, it's from
That's
Ed Werder. It's not
why?
just a
Why are they?
Twitter schmo.
Why?
I don't know.
Why? That makes no sense at all. What's
No,
going
it
to be
makes
left there for them?
makes 0 sense.
That's the craziest thing I ever heard. Also, it looks like DeAndre Swift not at full health, according to Dan Campbell. So keep an eye on that. Just heard that
Jeez.
coming out too.
So
No
how are your
kidding.
feelings about rest of season then? We
Still
just
pretty
talked
good.
about him.
I still like him. All right.
Really?
Hawk wants to know what is Najee Harris's trade value in a PPR league? It's low.
Slow.
I mean,
Like,
maybe you can
really
get
low.
Damian Pierce for him. You know,
I don't think you're gonna get that. I mean, I'm looking at rest of the season rankings. I'm trying to figure out like, I would trade him. Like, if you need a wide receiver, I'd trade him straight up for DJ Moore. I'd trade him straight up for Amari Cooper. You're looking at like mid wide receiver 2 probably value if you're lucky to get that back for him.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go to next question here on the board. It's Christina Santiago. Should I drop Hunter Renfrow or Pierce? I assume Alec, and pick up Duvernay in a half PPR.
Drop
I'm
Renfrow.
okay with Renfrow. Oh, really? Why Renfrow and not Pierce? Just curious.
What's he done? Like all season? Nothing. Josh McDaniels is so enamored with his multi-back sets that he's playing Mac Hollins over Hunter Renfrow. That tells you enough about the coaching there. It's terrible.
Gotcha. Angel B, should I trade Saquon to get Nick Chubb?
No.
Okay. 416
Saquon.
Hendricks.
Easy.
Mooney or Duvernay rest of season?
Mooney. I threw it out there on Twitter a few days ago. I was like, if you want a cheap wide receiver 3 with some upside, go get Darnell Mooney. His volume's been ticking up. He hasn't got the touchdowns. He's not gonna go for the rest of the season without a freaking touchdown. When the touchdowns come, he is going to have wide receiver 2 weeks.
Well, look, I think confidence is what's brewing here. I think you're starting to get the confidence level from Justin Fields the more they start to push things. Andre Castile, do I trade DK Metcalf for Olave? I love Olave, but you're going to make this trade?
I would do that. Like, put it this way. Why would you not? You have a healthy Olave. We know Michael Thomas and Landry are both still banged up.
Please.
There is nothing stopping Chris Olave from getting
3.5. The number of games Michael Thomas plays this season, rest of the season. Where are you going? 3.5 is the number. You going over or under?
Under. I mean, put it this way. I'll pull up my rest of season ranks, and this is I'm looking at it right now. Chris Olave is my wide receiver 13 for the rest of the season, and that
I've got him up high too.
That might still be low. Like, who is stopping Chris Olave from getting a weekly 12 to 15 targets? Nobody.
I've got him at 17. I got Metcalf at 12. So, look, I'm not saying Debro's wrong. I'm just saying that is a big move. So you better be ready if it doesn't work. And Olave is great. He was one of the most polished route runner guys. Everything he does is smooth. You watch him at the combine. You watch him at Ohio State. The guy's just terrific. So I got no issue with that. And Andy Dalton. So that seems to be what they're doing.
And quietly, Andy's playing good. I'm going to say that too.
Yes, quietly. It was better this past week. Got to watch the picks, Andy. Got to watch the picks. YP. He always looked good when he just dumped the ball off to Alvin Kamara. Let's be honest.
That's fair.
But you know what? bad on Jameis Winston for not doing that more when he had the chance to. YP,
Mhm.
would you trade AJ Brown half PPR to acquire depth at the RB position?
No.
I don't like
No.
doing that.
No.
Not for
AJ Brown is a
depth.
top 5 wide receiver for the
Yeah.
rest of the season. No.
No. Like
No.
you know, if you bring him back Mostert and Damian Harris, like that, no, that ain't the kind of move you need to be doing there.
No. This is the
Anish
time of the year
Mohan.
where you consolidate and you get stars. You don't try to
Right.
deal them out.
That's right. The needle movers, so to speak.
Mhm.
PPR for Anish Mohan. I have Josh Allen, trade Tua and Ertz for Kittle and Carter.
I don't like the return. I don't disagree with getting rid of Tua. That's not my problem. But I'm not Michael Carter.
I
The
don't love
Jets
Carter
offense is
either.
not going to lean on him, man. Like in George Kittle, you're playing the coin flip weekly. Does
Mhm.
Kyle Shanahan let him run routes or make him block? So no, I'd be going after other trades with Tua, but that's not one that I would like.
Yeah, I'm with you, my brother. All right, let's get to the next question here. We've got Stephen M. I'm trying to pick up Fields on waivers this week. If I can, would you recommend trying to move Burrow? Not now. I think you wait. You don't want to move him off that game. Yeah, unless somebody's really in need of a quarterback, like the
Yeah,
person who has Dak. There's a perfect example of somebody who waited for Dak. Dak is returned, and now he's on a bye, and they're frustrated. Those are the kind of moves you can make, but I wouldn't just. This is the wrong week to be trading Joe Burrow. I think right
you
now.
go and you know who it is because you probably clowned him in the league chats and things like that. The move is you go offer Joe Burrow to the team that really believed and drafted Russell Wilson. That's who you go talk to.
That's a good one too. Well done. That's why you write the primer. That's when you do good work. You do good work there.
I try.
Let's go to Maui. Jacobs, Aaron Jones, or Deonta Foreman in the standard. So I don't know if we're talking about playing them, but I mean, I want to play all
Mm,
these guys in a standard league because they're
same.
all running backs who get workload.
I would
If you
say
had to
you're
rank
playing
them
all of
rest of
them.
season, rank them rest
Mm,
of season. Is that the order? Jacobs, Jones, Foreman?
yeah, that's the order.
Agreed. Glenn Reed, I missed it. Was a yes to drop Joshua Palmer for Rondell Moore. It was.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Glenn. Glenn,
Hmm.
what are you like working right now? I mean, the Fantasy Pros live stream is on.
You,
Are
you
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 trying to
take
be
an
productive
impromptu
at work?
bathroom break and you go tune into the
Uh,
stream.
okay, that's the one acceptable thing. But even if you take your phone with you, I mean, who doesn't take their what kind of monster out there goes to the bathroom without their phone anymore? I mean, think about that.
That's
Can
where
you
all my
even
best ball exposure got. I mean, that's where all my best ball drafts got done.
can you even go anymore without it? Like, I mean, it's almost
No,
like a Pavlovian
no,
thing. Like, I mean, you can't
no. Sit and
like
surf is an elite move. Just
sit
had to
and
tell you.
surf. There you go. There you go. All right, let's get to I guess that's it for today. I guess we're going to call it a day somehow. Don't forget everybody, like the stream. It's very important. We appreciate you guys being with us. We appreciate especially with all the things you have going on in your lives that you hang out with us and you choose Fantasy Pros for all of your fantasy football advice and entertainment as well. Don't forget, like the stream, be a subscriber of our YouTube channel. You can win that DK Metcalf jersey. That is brilliant. And turn on that bell for those notifications so you know if you are the big winner, because you just might be. So don't forget about that. Plus, all of the podcasts, all of the live streams, all of the short form videos, everything is here. So is my playbook too. fantasypros.com/myplaybook. Don't forget about that bad boy too. Go sync your leagues today. There's still plenty of season left, plenty of tools that can help you get through the By-Mageddon weeks, get through everything going on. Derek Brown, you're making a face again. Are you teasing me? Is there a trade before we leave?
Apparently Brandon Cooks is not at practice right now, and there's rumors
Huh?
he could be on the move. At least what I'm seeing out on social media is possibly Dallas.
Oh, great. Yeah, let's trade CeeDee Lamb for
Which I'm like, they said about trading CD Lamb. I'm like, what does Dallas know what they're doing right now? Like, it
That's
feels like they're like,
interesting though. That kind of sets Michael Gallup up in a droppable place. I would say that.
yes,
Don't
I
like
agree.
that for Michael Gallup's value. Not at all. So there you have it, folks. That's the Waiver Wire live stream. We'll be back again on Thursday with another live stream and, of course, another podcast on the buy, sell, and the trade later today. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on for our good friend Derek Brown, myself, and our amazing, wonderful, illustrious, just beautiful human being, Chris, our producer. We'll see you next time, kids.